This just in, another documentary for hashtag MRA. Oh, wait, I need some music. Hang on, let me do this again. Hang on, here we go. There's another documentary on hashtag MRA. It's called DivorceCorp, C-O-R-P. Like I said, I'm an accidental MRA guy. I was just running a business one day. And by the way, my name is Jonathan Fibonacci. Got an email from a guy asking for some help on his own hashtag MRA stuff. And, by the way, if you need any help with hashtag MRA, I am for hire, Americana417@gmail.com. My pain is your prosperity. Let me tell you a little bit about this DivorceCorp, C-O-R-P. Just Google. It's a new documentary. It's coming out. Anybody who follows the channel knows that I'm a big advocate for equality in civil cases and criminal cases. And there was a documentary called The Red Pill that I highly recommend that you watch and you buy and support that. It's called The Red Pill documentary. But there's another one that's come out. It's called DivorceCorp, and it's really talking about the civil system as a whole. Whereas the Red Pill documentary, it's definitely a good documentary. But it sort of spoke to sort of the global issues between feminism and the MRA movement. This new documentary is called DivorceCorp, and it's talking about the business in civil trials, and it speaks specifically to the shit that I'm talking about so much. And one thing that I really recommend you do is, if you don't really take this stuff seriously, if you're a man going through a civil case and you just think, oh, this guy Fibonacci, this nigga guy, he's just sort of trying to be dramatic, watch some of those clips and some of the DivorceCorp and see some of the shit that they're saying in there. And that stuff is legit. In fact, the more that I watched it, the more I'm like, okay, the MRA movement is slowly gaining traction. And much like cannabis, remember cannabis? It took about 30, 40 years for cannabis, for a plant to not be illegal. Now, at this point, 2016, cannabis is legal in probably 5, 6 states. California just legalized it recreationally. I believe Alabama, Texas is on the ballot. So eventually, we all know that cannabis, or plants, literally plants, will not be illegal. And it took 40 years. Now, the MRA movement is much like cannabis in the sense that it's going to just take time. It's going to take advocacy. It's going to take guys like Fibonacci, Hala. It's going to take the Red Pill documentary. It's going to take this DivorceCorp. So watch that documentary, support it, buy it, share that content, because again, that is so important that you and I really understand what's happening in today's civil system and criminal system. And so the most important thing to watch there is you just got to think the civil system, it's a lot like the Civil War. A lot of people, like, what if I just walked up to you and said, what if you were a huge Civil War buff and you knew all the intricacies of the Civil War, and you're like, holy shit, that's the most brutal war we've ever fought. And I'm like, yeah, but it's called the Civil War. You think I was a fucking idiot. Well, you should, because anybody who knows anything about the Civil War knows that it was a brutal campaign, much like the civil system. Now, this is Fibonacci's opinion here, First Amendment. In my opinion, the closest thing we have today to Gitmo or Guantanamo Bay is the civil system. And if you watch DivorceCorp, you will see what I'm talking about, where federally protected statuses are irrelevant. In many cases, you don't have advocacy. In my case, I was stripped of advocacy. I had a lawyer. I was stripped of that. And if you just really look at the intricacies of that. So how does that apply to you? And how does that apply to me? And how can I help you? I mean, am I just going to be one more person that's going to bitch and complain about the inequities of the system? No. What I want to do is I want to help other men or other fathers that are going through that. I'm definitely a consultant, so I'm not gonna give free advice. So if you're interested in the things that you need to know to succeed in your civil system or your civil case, drop me an email. Email is Americana417@gmail.com. And what I'm going to do is kind of put together like a divorce kit. And these are going to be these are the things that you need to know before you go into your civil system. You need it, or your civil case, wherever you're at. Now, I'm based in Texas, and for example, I can help anybody in any state, but most of what my experience is Texas-based. Like when I talk about 2503, Now again, 2503 is the epicenter of where the corruption begins on the police level. And if you're not from Texas, 2503, it's a law that speaks to, it's a gender neutral law that speaks to equality, and it basically protects men, and it's never enforced. Well, it's technically a federal offense if that's not enforced. So every state should have a 2503, and they probably do, and if you hire me, I can research and find it. So if you're a father and you're going through a civil system and you're kind of watching some of this shit, the red pill, the DivorceCorp, and you're kind of finding my video, drop me an email, hire me. I'm not cheap, but then again, look at the things that I've gone through. What I want to do, I want to bring this passion, and I want to prevent this from happening to any other man. And if I can help keep fathers with their children, if I can help you enjoy Christmases with your children, if I can help you just literally know some of your basic rights that your lawyer's not going to tell you. And the reason why I say that is because lawyers don't work for you, dads, fathers, men. Divorce lawyers work for themselves, and if they really work for anybody, they work for the local judge. So anyway, drop me an email at americana417@gmail.com, and I would love to help you with your civil system. Or you can just follow me on Fibonacci and learn about all kinds of things relevant to the men's rights movement. A lot of people think the men's rights, to be an MRA means you hate women. You don't. An MRA really is a person who just believes in the audacious idea that men should receive equality in civil and criminal cases. That's it. And again, it's not going to happen overnight, but I want to be a part of change.